Hi class, today we're going to be going over how to make a color wheel. Your color wheel should already be outlined in Sharpie as well as filled in with your primaries, secondaries, and intermediates. Today's goal is to finish coloring it in using your watercolors. Supplies you're going to need include your set of watercolors, which should have both your primary, secondary, brown and black, your white temper cake, a water cup, as well as a paintbrush, and of course your palette. I'm going to be showing you how to mix up the different hues, tints, and shades, and as you follow along, you'll pick up tips and techniques. Now, as we know, your watercolor is only activated by water. To do this, you just add a little bit of water, and the more time you spend actually using your paintbrush, the more pigment you're going to be picking up. And once you pick up your pigment using your palette, you're going to mix up just a little bit of your color. And you'll notice that I'm getting all of the red into the palette until it's a nice tone. And of course you can test this on your paper. And it's always good to test on a white background because it does change the color. And the color I'm going for right now is an intermediate, and it's red-orange. So of course we're going to activate our orange pigment as well. And we're going to be mixing that into our palette. And the color we're going for is a red-orange, so we want in between. And sometimes a good test is just to look at your color wheel and make sure that it's in between. Now remember, as you're painting this, it is much easier to move the paper rather than your hand. So as you paint, slide your paper and do a nice outline of the color. And this keeps it in line as well as stops the paint from running all over the place. And you'll find the paper that we're using is fairly cheap, so it's not going to soak in as well as you want it to, so you want to make sure you work quickly. Once you do the outline, all you have to do is shade it in. And you'll see that the red-orange is in between the colors red and orange, and that's what it looks like. And this outer layer here is the hue, or what we call the pure color. You'll see in the next one down, you're going to make your tint. And remember, your tint is a hue plus white. Now to do this, we're going to take our palette, which should already have your intermediate in there. I'm just going to add a little more. And you want to rinse out your brush very well because you're going to be using your white temper cake. And it's important that your brush is clean so that you don't tamper with the color of the white, or else you will dirty it for your next color. And you're going to mix up the white and add it into your palette. And you'll see it turns a pastel color, and you sort of want it to look like an Easter egg. And then same thing, you're going to bring it into the next ring, and this, remember, is your tint, which is a color plus white, and filled in. And your third ring is going to be your shade, which, as you know, is your black plus color. And you'll notice that I'm using a different hole in my palette, and the reason for that is my last intermediate, my red-orange, already has white in it. So you have to mix up a new one and add your black into there. And a little bit of black goes a long way, so I usually keep black in the middle of my palette, and that way when I need just a little, I can pick it up and add it in. And you always want to test your black on the side to make sure as well that you're able to see the color, because it's very easy to go too black. And then you add in your shade, and your pie slice is complete. If you are to add too much black in, which I'll show you an example of, you're going to ruin the color, and when you go to test it, you'll see that you aren't able to see any of the hue, which is considered bad. So a perfect pie slice looks like this. So if you are to squint your eyes, you can see there's a clear difference between your hue, your tint, and your shade. So you want 3 variations. And then if you look here at your primaries and secondaries, you'll see I went through and did each one, and then I'm going to mix up each of the intermediates. If you have any questions about this, of course you can always check online to match the colors, or you can look at other examples that show the clear variations between the 3.